Imagine possessing a secret tool so potent that it could change the course of your entire healing journey. And guess what? It's something you're probably already doing subconsciously. There is one simple magic word that has a 100% success rate at unlocking the doors of mindfulness, self-discovery, and directing your entire healing journey. And the more you stop and consider this word consciously, the more empowered you become and the easier it is. Things will stop happening to you and start happening for you. Now, the single word that has the power to help you see and interact with the world in a whole new way is why. It's more powerful than you can imagine, and I'm going to walk you through why that is. So asking why consciously encourage us to take a deeper look and a deeper introspection at our thoughts, our beliefs, and our behaviors. Asking why encourages you to uncover layer after layer that you have hidden within yourself, things that you didn't want to face, subconscious programming that came from old experiences and old traumas. So when you ask why about a particular thought, an action, or a behavior, this exploration can uncover thoughts, beliefs, patterns, and feelings that are shaping how you're bringing yourself out into the world, how people are identifying with you. And guess what? It might be a lot different than what you think. If you find someone in your life reflecting something to you about yourself, and it's not a match for your internal intentions, that's the perfect time to ask yourself why. For example, I recently pulled my energy back in a relationship that I was in. Didn't really know I was doing it. It happened subconsciously, over time, little by little. I didn't even take accountability for it until my partner pointed it out. And initially, I did have an emotional reaction to it, but once that subsided, I said, why? Why would I do this? Why would I pull my energy back? And then I also said, this pattern has been reflected to me in other relationships as well. Why? Through that asking of why, I connected with the fact that as a child, empathy was actually weaponized in my life. People in my life used empathy to manipulate others. So when I'm faced, especially in a relationship, with having to provide empathy for someone else, that feels like an unsafe space for me. That feels like I'm going to be manipulated. So I immediately become disinterested and I pull my energy back. It's a fear response. So the point is, sometimes we don't even realize what the wound is, but by asking why, we can actually uncover subconsciously the reasons that we do things. And we can shed light and bring awareness to these patterns. And you know what? Sometimes that's all healing is. Some people think that there's like a magic potion to healing. Like you have to go through a lot of deep, rough energy work. You have to see a shaman. You have to read astrology and know tarot cards. And while yes, many of those tools are greatly useful in our healing journey, I think sometimes we overcomplicate it. Sometimes all we need is the awareness of the pattern. And once we become aware of what we're doing and the why behind it, when we're faced with the same situation again, we can make a different choice. And that's what healing really is. It's making a different choice, choosing a new path, not the programmed one, not the fear one, but an empowered making of a choice as how you're going to react to a situation. Which brings me right to my next point. Asking why challenges your beliefs and assumptions. By questioning your beliefs, it allows you to see if potentially an old belief is controlling the present. You can now evaluate the validity of a belief before actually acting on it, which leads to personal growth and quantum transformation. To use the example from before, I recognized the pattern of several partners reflecting to me that they felt unloved. They felt a lack of empathy. They felt that I was severing our connection. And because I was subconscious of the reason why I was doing it, that actually developed into a belief that I held about myself. I believed I am not good at emotions. I believed I am not a good space holder. I believed that maybe I'm just shitty at relationships. Maybe I don't deserve to have a partner. Yeah, that's how deep it goes. And these are all limiting beliefs. Now, I could have sunk into those emotions. I could have drowned in my own self-hatred. But instead, I chose to ask why. Why do I believe that I'm shitty in relationships? Why do I believe that I don't deserve an equal partner? And that's when I realized that when I was showing lack of empathy towards my partners, it was triggering their abandonment wounds. And I think this happens a lot with masculine energy, is that when you trigger their abandonment wounds, you're also triggering their self-worth. And when that gets triggered, they then project that onto me. So it wasn't that I was a bad partner. It was that we no longer energetically matched what each other wanted out of the relationship. I just wanted safety. I wanted to feel safe and like I wasn't going to be manipulated by empathy. And all they wanted was empathy to reinforce their self-worth and so that they could understand that I wasn't going to abandon them. It doesn't mean that I'm unempathetic and unable to hold space. It just means that I needed to feel safe in doing so. And by not feeling safe, I was triggering them and they were triggering me. And eventually a lot of it evolved. I can't tell you how empowering it is to uncover all of these hidden messages, uncover and let go of these stories. You know how much more self-worth I can step into realizing that I am empathetic. I can hold space for others and I do deserve a loving, nourishing, safe relationship. And all because I was willing to ask why. And by continuing to ask why, I was able to promote mindfulness. And I was able to now emotionally regulate myself at times where I would fall victim to my own limiting beliefs. And this magic happens because once you train yourself in why, you are cultivating mindfulness. Because the process alone of asking why requires you to take a breath. Why is a presence practice? It allows us to evaluate rather than react. Because our emotions are important navigation tools in this world, but we are not our emotions. And the more space we can create in the present moment between what we're feeling and what we are doing, the more balanced a reaction we can have, the more balanced we can be, and the more we can come from a place of love rather than trauma, rather than pain, rather than programming. Mindfulness helps us manage our emotions more effectively. It makes it easier for us to identify triggers and respond in a healthy way. So now, when I have the reaction of feeling like I want to pull away from someone who needs my empathy, I can breathe. I can regulate my nervous system. I can ask myself, is this a safe space? Is this an old wound coming up? Does it actually match the present moment? What is causing this trigger and why? And how can I work with that energy to bring myself back to a place where I feel safe? The mindfulness of why provides us with the space to explore a feeling, a situation, or a reaction and determine the best approach for it. Once you start applying the power of why, you start to see life as an experiment and an experience. It's no longer this oppressive force that you're victim to. Why helps teach you the messages and lessons in every experience. And you can literally apply it to any situation. Why am I doing this? Why do I feel this way? Why do I always seem to be in this pattern, whether it be in relationships, in jobs, in your heart and in your mind? Why is the world offering me this particular challenge? What is there to learn from it? Asking why is like your trusty tool to getting to know yourself on deeper and deeper levels. It's like a detective that's helping you uncover things that you didn't even know were there. Why shakes up the limiting beliefs that have been holding you back from experiencing the life that you want to experience. It's your mindfulness coach, making sure you're aware of what's going on inside of you and that you're living in the present moment of a situation and not in old patterns and programming. Why is a journey that paves the way for greater personal growth in a more empowered way. Now the question is, do you have the courage to ask why? I hope so. And if the answer to that question isn't a big resounding yes, you need to ask yourself one more important question. Why not? I am so excited to announce that I will soon be opening up a very limited number of spots for my individualized life purpose blueprint. To be the first to know when I open the list, follow, like, or comment, and as an added bonus and first access, find the link in my bio to my guided chakra meditation, designed to expand your consciousness and move through the perceived limitations of our dense 3D reality. I would love to continue exploring this infinite reality with you, and thanks so much for your presence. And let it flow, because it won't stop.